And then
I can get that from a showrunner standpoint
yeah.
for sure. But when you're just like, you want to show up, sign up, and wait your turn and all that, I think we finally went live right now. It says we're live, but
Boom,
here we go.
baby.
There we fucking go. Finally. All right. So let me mute this too. If not, it's okay. It is muted. Perfect. We've been going for a few minutes for those who are about to just join and watch the replay. But we're talking about the frustrations of online sign up, but it does have a very practical place in comedy. But I mean, when you go to like message Instagram story, like there's a guy now. I like him, but he books like a room. It's like a newer room, but it's like a good room.
I know exactly, dude. I know.
Dude, fuck it. I'll say it. Lucy's in New Braunfels.
Oh, that's not who I was thinking of.
Okay,
Oh.
Lucy's in New Braunfels does this shit. So you know how you can send out a message, but there's like a green circle around it, and it only goes out to what's called close friends or something like that.
No way.
And he does this like once every like 3 weeks to like book out the month, and the shows only have like 5 comics, so it's like you're trying to book 5 shows with like a radio contest to be caller number fucking 5. And I'm like, why don't you just book competent comedians that bring it? And yeah, mix and match and don't have the same people every time. But that's such a fucking dumb system. And I love this dude and he has a great room, but like you need to get your shit together.
No, bro. I know exactly. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Dude, I've talked to him too, man. And here's what he told me, bro. He was like, look, man, I'm trying to learn everything right now. Right. So I think now, like,
yeah.
Right now, he's the perfect person, bro, because he's like part comedian.
Yeah,
So we can tell him to be like, look, dude.
Like he's like it's a part of his ethnicity. He's like, I'm half Mexican, half. That's hilarious.
So he's, we can tell him like, look, man, if you really want, like, you can tell him, I've been around, for a while, bro. I've seen clubs, all over the fucking country, man. Like, just listen to my advice. Just like take some parts of it. You know what I mean? And dude, he's sounds like a super dude. He's asked me for advice. I've given him some, so he's definitely an open-minded dude, man.
Yeah. Have you done that room?
Not yet, but I mean,
I did like the second one ever, and it was the room. I love the aesthetic look of the room and the size. Like it holds like a tight fucking 60.
Dude, I love that.
Those are and there was only like 15 people there, maybe 17, and he was just like, it was packed out the last 2 weeks, which is fine, and they were fun. I was just like, I that's the type of room that if I ever film something, like I want to film, I don't even want to call it a special, but just a set that's professionally shot with like 40 people in the crowd.
Yeah, dude. Just
I love that shit.
Yeah. No, dude, and those rooms are set up to where like if the show, doesn't go as planned, you can have like a minimum of like 12 people, and it's so small,
Yeah.
That it'll hit like it'll sound like there's like 30 people in there.
Dude, have you done Secret Group? In Houston. I did like 5 or 6 sets, but this is just like in like 2022. I remember that's the hardest I've ever killed 10 people in a crowd, because I have the video and it's like so much louder than 10 people should sound, because it's like, not to be corny, but it's like a kill box.
Right.
Where it's just like the vibration of the laughs, it bounces off the fucking wall. So I was like, I actually posted clips from 10 people in the crowd because the volume was so high.
Yeah, dude, I do remember that room being a great room because it's just the way it's built, dude. It's just another one of those like intimate rooms.
That was one of those rooms too, where you do more weekends than me, so sometimes it takes like till set 3 to really start feeling it. It's like, okay, Thursday was mid, Friday early, it was good.
God,
Friday late was better. Saturday early, I'm a well-oiled machine now. And that happens a lot. For some reason at Secret Group, I started off on like Thursday murdering, and then by like Saturday late, I was bombing. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's going backwards.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The last time I did Secret Group was when Enrique was running it.
Okay.
So I had the House of Blues Saturday, right? So I did Thursday, ate shit Thursday.
Oh
Horrible,
my god!
Dude. Like one of the worst bombs. I did two shows Thursday. I bombed at both of them.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Friday was super mediocre. Like I barely didn't bomb. So Saturday at the House of Blues, I'm fucking like nervous. I'm like, dude, I've been eating dick. I'm on like this weird like bomb streak right now, and there's about to be like 600 people here.
Yeah.
But it's weird, man, because then you get like that one laugh, and then it just turns everything around.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's so weird. Like, confidence and, like, I don't know, like, sometimes crowds are just, like, I mean, crowds can be like comics, too, where sometimes, like, you can, like, fake a crowd and they laugh just as hard as if you're, like, really feeling it. But other times they can sense if you're not having fun and really behind what you're saying, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes if I'm feeling it, I can, like, wake them up and, like, okay, now they're here.
Yeah.
You know?
Does this ever happen to you whenever you have those, like, because you've done, like, full weekends before, right? Like,
Yeah.
Where, like, on Sunday you feel like you're, like, dragging a little bit, you know?
I used to fucking hate Sunday shows. Like, especially if you do, like, Thursday, Thursday, then shit, at House of Comedy, we used to do Wednesday through Sunday, which was fucking out of control.
That's crazy.
It was insane. And Wednesday shows would be horrible. There'd be, like, 13 people there in a room that holds 350. And then Thursday would be a little better. Friday, Saturday's usually fire, and then Sunday was just like, why are we still doing this? Like,
honestly, I like Thursdays. I like Thursdays more than Sundays. Honestly.
Oh, for sure, 100% more. Yeah, definitely. Like Sundays, it just feels like
a church vibe. There's like a weird church vibe.
I mean, growing up and going to school, I hated Sundays because I'm like, school, fucking Monday tomorrow. The fun's over. I got to sleep early now and go back to a full week of school. Fuck this. You know, the only thing that made it a little better was, like, football season. I'd be like, okay, I can watch a little bit of sports and shit. Right. But, like, and then Mondays, it's just like, now here we are, you know?
Yeah, dude, you're just way too close to Monday, man. You're too close to the worst day of the week.
What did this person say? Who are better audience, stoned potheads or tipsy crowd? Tipsy all day.
All day, tipsy all day.
Stoner crowds low-key suck sometimes.
Yeah, dude. Like, everyone thinks that, like, you know, they're going to be giggling at everything you say and shit.
Because you think, oh, it's stoner humor. They'll laugh at a French fry. And it's like, no, sometimes they're too fucking stoned to know what the hell you're talking about.
They're just staring at you, dude. They're just fucking staring at you.
Dude, have you done Green Room?
No, dude, but I did, what is that one in Arizona, in Tucson? Harambe's.
Okay, I did Harambe's.
Dude, Harambe's, you don't even have to smoke weed. You walk in there and you're like high as shit.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is weed. Your drinks are weed. Fucking food is weed. Everything is weed.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. That was a fun room. And luckily I was like opening, so I got the crowd whenever, like, before, you know, like the pre-high, you know?
Yeah.
But the closer, bro, I mean, by the time it got to him, dude,
dude, I like headlined a show there one time, and it felt like it was pulling teeth.
Yeah.
Well, also, dude, you know they had come in, and I did okay. Like, I didn't bomb, but they had fucking Jesus Sepulveda, who's currently touring with Fluffy, and who's like
I know this.
True fucking headliner with the HBO credits. He's from Tucson, and this was in like December of like 2019 or something.
Oh,
and I was like the headliner of the show.
Yeah.
And he just shows up. Fair enough. I'm not even mad he bumped me at all. Like, that's the way this shit works, and I was glad to see him go. But he goes up and, like, he's supposed to do like 10 minutes. He does like 40 minutes and destroys.
Oh man. Dude.
And I had to follow that, and I was just like, for my first like 10 minutes, I kind of rode his wave, and then they were just immediately tired, and maybe I just wasn't like good enough to sustain an entire set after that. But I bombed out. Like, it was like, it was going okay, but yeah, it was crazy, dude.
I mean, dude, it's hard to follow somebody doing 45.
Dude,
like
it was
45.
It was a combination of him being probably better than me and doing way too much time. So it was hard to follow that.
And then also, like, you're probably in your head too, like,
oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
Dude, this motherfucker did 45, like, you know, low key, like a little like upset or something.
Yeah.
And all that shit goes into play, dude. Your
for
mind
sure.
state, your fucking, you know.
The more, like, I'd say that is a bigger piece of the pie than it ever has been at any point, because you get to a level where you're kind of like locked in and you know how to do this. So it's just like, unless the crowd is just extra weird, sometimes a lot of the time it's just how you're feeling.
Dude, 1,000,000%, dude.
Yeah.
You could always trace it back to like whatever's going on with you, dude. Oh my god, dude! Fucking yesterday, I fucking had a bad set.
Where at?
It was at where the fuck was it? It was at BJ's in Temple.
Oh my god, I've done that room,
dude. But it was like it was such a great room. Like, oh my god.
I had a very fun set there before.
I didn't bomb, but I, like, the first 4 minutes were fucking, like, it was just nothing for some reason.
Oh my god.
And then I spent the rest of the 10 minutes, you know, making it up. but it was like, I knew what it was, dude. I was like, I don't know, dude. It was fucking.
Bro, you want to know what's fucking crazy? You're gonna think I'm nuts. You want to know the last time I was on stage was that fucking show that we did, like 2 Wednesdays ago, like next to the airport.
Yeah.
Where we just did comedy for like 7 people.
Yeah, that place.
And there was just like a ocean-sized gap between the stage and the people at the picnic tables and shit. I haven't been booked on anything, so I've just been like, mentally, I'm just like, I'm not feeling open mics right now. Right. So I just haven't been on. But this week I have a couple shows, and I'm headlining shows in Arizona the 29th and the 30th. So this week I'm going to like probably go to Mill and just like try to see if I can just like squeeze in on certain spots and shit. Because like I don't want to go 3 weeks of no comedy into headlining.
Yeah,
you know?
Bro, that's rough, man. I'm where like I need to be doing fucking open mics right now. So I need like something about like just grounding yourself a little more and like getting back to the basics.
Yeah. Open mics are good even for experienced comedians because the whole point of being a comic, in my opinion, is like, yeah, you want to have jokes, but you want to be like a heightened version of yourself.
Right.
So I feel like when I do open mics, there's no pressure at all. So I go in so relaxed and so like not caring like if it really goes well. And then if I feel like you can kind of combine that with performing well. So you're not a robot. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
It keeps you like fluent.
For sure. Yeah.
And then it keeps you like, you know, like you practice, bro. You practice, you know, any kind of sport you play, right? And to us, that's just like practice. But it's also
it's the gym.
Yeah, it's practicing like harnessing like the energy that you need to, you know, have to, you know, to say these things at a certain like, you know, just like a, you know, kind of a flow, man. It teaches you, you know, how to like master that easier.
For sure. No, it's the gym. It's practice. It's just like if you're like an athlete and you have a certain sport that you're great at and you have game day and you have certain games, you're not going to be that great if you're not practicing. So I feel like I say the only excuse not to do at least a few open mics is if your calendar is so fucking filled with like legit showcases and like weekends.
You need a break or something.
Yeah, or you need a break. But like the guys that are like on the road 3 weeks out of the month and it's Thursday through Sunday always.
Yeah.
Like I can even then I feel like you could sprinkle in a Tuesday or two if you want to work on some things. But if you're not doing that and you have all those shows, fair enough. But I know people that aren't getting booked that much and they still don't do open mics, and I'm like, why, dude? You're not above it. Like stop. Like
yeah, bro. I definitely see those people too, man. And it's like, but. I don't know, man. That's all right, dude. Sometimes people like level off. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And you know, and that makes
if you're like a true headliner and shit, I get it.
But not only that, well, that too. But like, you know, even if you're not a headliner, sometimes people level off. But it's good for us because you know what I mean.
Right.
We're just gonna, you know, keep on evolving. You know?
Yeah, it's still my favorite way to write new material.
Yeah, dude. I don't. You know, unless here's the other thing, because this is what they do in LA. You'll have like those headliners use like real shows as fucking open mics. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
It'll be like a variety show at like Laugh Factory, and they'll go and like try new material there. And you know, dude, I've seen like comedians eat shit, but they're trying new stuff. So it's like, you know,
oh fuck
it's
yeah,
just it's at a different
level.
I
mean, I've done that a little bit too. Like I went through this phase where I had longer sets like often, and I wasn't hitting mics, so I was just like, I did this shit. Maybe it's like cheating. But I would wait until I was having like a fire set, and then I would squeeze in like 5 minutes or 3 minutes of new when they already loved me.
Yeah.
And it would go over pretty well. And then when I would do that new joke later with like a rougher crowd, it would bomb. But I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like,
but you know, like where I know, like
that's a part of the game too.
Yeah,
that's a part of the game too, is knowing when to tell a joke. Like, or
dude, sometimes I'll do it in two ways, right? I'll do it. If I do it up front, it's only because I don't want to forget it. And I just want to get it off just so I don't have to like, you know, keep it in the back of my head.
Yeah, opening new is a thing to try out as well. It's because sometimes I'm like, this is all I care about tonight too.
Exactly.
Telling the same shit over and over again is not it right now, and I just want to tell this new joke that I'm excited about. So it's probably as much as we think. I mean, there's very, very few exceptions, but 90% of the time, I don't know if a joke's going to be good or not until I'm telling it on stage and it gets what it gets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
There's been a couple exceptions where I'm like, that is so objectively funny that there's no way it's gonna bomb, and that happens like once every like 2 years maybe, where a joke is just fire out the gate, and I know it's gonna be fire out the gate. But even my closer right now that crushes every time, I was like, I didn't know if that was gonna be that good until I had to work it out and figure and then tell it in real time.
Yeah, bro. And there's even like jokes that like got like, dude, there's some jokes that I say now that were probably like, you know, I call them like bronze jokes, like, you know, like in third place.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So I had jokes that were like bronze, but I rewrote them and gave them new tags, bro. And there's some, you know, my best jokes now.
Oh yeah, no joke is like ever really done.
No,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, it's weird.
To me, it's unless you've done a special, I feel like that I don't know. Like if you do a special and like you're trying to just move on to like new material, I feel like, you know, you could probably just leave those alone. It'd be weird to like
for sure, especially if you're on that level where you have enough eyeballs on you and you release the special.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not worth like putting a tag on something that's already been like.
Yeah. Well, a lot of comics talk about this and it happens to myself, and I'm sure you as well.
Yeah.
Where you'll release like a reel of a joke murders in the video, but then like a month later you punch the joke up to where there's a better punchline or a better tag, and I'm like, the joke is 75% funnier now, but it already has 11,000 views on there, and it's been out for 6 months.
That's like, happened so much, dude.
Yeah,
so much. And honestly, man, that makes me self-conscious about posting. That's one of the reasons why like I hate posting,
man. Me too.
Dude, I hate social media, dude. If I'm being fucking honest.
Me too. It's one of like the reasons like I feel like I haven't gotten to where I should potentially be, is because I just don't like the game of social media. Like I just maybe like shit has changed a lot since we started, but it's just so I just want to be funny, get paid a little bit, and entertain people. I don't have this narcissistic like look at me, oh check this out, look at views, look at the stats.
Like I don't even want a whole bunch of people looking at me, but you have to, or else like, how are you?
It's so fucking crazy, dude. It's so required now.
And but you know, you get to that level, you can have people just run your social media.
Oh, I know. Hell yeah, you can. There's a lot of people. They have like a team, or they have like a person that they pay a little bit of money, and they just run that shit.
Yeah, man. And it's I mean, dude, that's what I need. I just need somebody to run my social media. It was crazy though. I was thinking about this, right? So, free speech is like a huge thing, right? And it's been like that for, you know,
comedians against like free speech. I'll never understand it.
Ever, dude. But we're always, you know, fighting against censorship. But social media is the only thing where like we are 100% okay with, right? Just to put out content. Like we'll you know, like bleep out this word, exchange this word just to like get more views, which is you know, dude, like we're censoring ourselves. We're doing this shit ourselves for views.
And then they say hate speech or whatever. It's like, I don't give a fuck what you want to deem it or categorize it as. Speech is speech. Like, if you're dumb enough to say some crazy shit that'll get you fired or make people not like you, all of that is under the umbrella of just
consequences.
Free speech. Yeah, consequences come with free speech. People think that, but you shouldn't be stifled or shut down or censored. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you want to say something like, you know, I really don't care. Like, because people try to bring up, they try to like, I got you moments where they're just like, what about if someone says this and blah, blah, blah. It's just like too fucking bad. Yeah. The people that want to go that route, that they're going to have to deal with, you know, the backlash of whatever the hell they said. But,
yeah, bro. Yeah. It's just, to me, it's just crazy that, you know, just what we'll do for like views and shit, you know, like we'll give ourselves less freedom to just fucking, you know, more views, more followers.
Dude, I see people like they fall into like a political camp because of what they think that they're going to get bigger numbers from.
Oh yeah, dude. It's always funny whenever they do that shit, whenever they pick a side and they fucking cut half of their followers.
Oh my God. Like, a guy who I used to really like, and I still like him. He is kind of like a boomer now, and a little. I feels like he's run his course a little bit. But Nick DiPaolo.
Oh yeah.
He's like one of my all-time favorites, and I think he's one of the funniest natural people. But he is so fucking hardcore right-wing, like Donald Trump loving, and I'm just like, dude, like I don't know. It's just to me, his whole podcast is news. He doesn't say like, oh I'm doing these shows. Me and oh, back in the day, he's not telling stories. He's not having guests on where they're just shooting the shit and they're talking about. It's all fucking not just news, politically based news, and it's all just he's so right wing, and I'm like, bro, just talk about being a comic. Jesus Christ, like.
I feel like comedians lose their like badge whenever they get like people like Bill Maher. I don't really even consider him like a comedian.
No,
if I'm being honest, dude, it's just a
at this point, sure, he was a comic and he could sell out arenas and stuff, but like he's a political commentator.
Yeah, dude, you just become that now. And that sucks that Nick DiPaolo became that. Because that
yeah,
fucking hilarious.
And I saw him at Skankfest recently too, and I'm like, dude, he's in like. I don't have a ranking system, but like is personally like who has made me laugh the most over the years, like before I was a comic, he's in the top
for
few,
sure.
You know?
For sure. Yeah, but DL's because you'll have those comedians both. You'll have
DL?
DL's super on the left.
He's the opposite of Nick DiPaolo, meaning he's the same fucking thing but for the other side.
Yeah, dude.
Everything is super woke and everyone's racist, and I'm just like, shut up.
Him and John Leguizamo, dude. John Leguizamo.
Oh, he's
left.
The worst at that too,
dude. And then he wanted everybody like he was all on board for the like Latin X thing.
Yeah,
dude, why nobody wants to be called that, dude?
No real Mexicans want to be called Latin X.
What the fuck is that?
Also, if you're a millionaire, I don't want to hear you bitching about racism. I'm not saying. Here's the thing: racism absolutely exists, but not in Hollywood where you're you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, talk about it on the street level. Talk about like people living in impoverished fucking ghettos who are being fucked up by the police. This is happening. Sure. Racism, talk about it there. If you're a linebacker holding out for an extra $6 million, shut the fuck up.
Oh, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but especially in Hollywood, you know, like there's if you look up the percentage, especially like black people, bro, that are in all this like movies and the commercials.
Yeah.
So it's a huge percentage of, you know, like the demographic.
Yeah, in comparison to the actual amount per capita. It's like, it's a lot. There's like, and then like, it's so stupid because what is that diversity hire? What is it? DEI?
Yeah.
So that specifically is a program created to make sure that you hire people.
No, dude,
No, but the stupid, ridiculous ass backwards thing is there's DEI, diversity hire, by definition. And then when you say, oh, they only hired her because she's black, they say you're racist. It's like, no, that's what the fucking thing says.
It's one of the requirements.
They literally... So it's just like what I'm saying is what you're fighting for. You're fighting for the diversity hires. And when I point out, oh, she was just a diversity hire, it's like, oh, you're racist now. It's like, so what are we doing here? Like,
you have you ever read like the Oscar rules, like to get a movie like an Oscar award has to meet all these requirements. One of them is you have to have like a trans person. One of them is you have to have a gay person. It's something like that. You have to have like one African American, one Asian, all these things, dude, that you have to have in order to get an Oscar.
That's so crazy.
It is insane, dude.
Oh my God. I feel like that it's starting to like people got fatigued with it though. So like it's starting to go the other way a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
Lately.
Dude, yeah, because movies suck now, dude. Movies are not the fucking same.
The comedies don't exist anymore. I said that before. I was like, remember back in like the 90s and even well into the 2000s, there was like, what was like, you would see a trailer for like a fire-ass comedy with big names and everyone was excited to see it. When's the last time you saw like a true comedy that people were excited for? I can't fucking remember.
Dude,
like,
it was in that 40-Year-Old Virgin era.
Dude, that was the best. The 40-Year-Old Virgin and like, yeah, even like Seth Rogen movies. I know he kind of went batshit crazy as far as like, you know, the people were like the Hollywood elites that like, you know, they want to rage against any speech that they don't agree with. He went that route, but you gotta differentiate the art from the artist,
right?
Because like I'm a huge horror movie fan, as you can see. The craziest thing, most horror movie like actors, directors, and filmmakers, they're all super lefties, and they go like hard in the paint on raging about Donald Trump on Twitter. And I'm just like, not that I love Trump or anything, but I hate that mentality where your whole thing is just bitching about that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Like Stephen King is a fucking lunatic, bro. He's like insane. Shit that he talks about.
He's on the left?
Super left. Like Trump derangement syndrome where his entire identity has been consumed by just tweets against everyone's Nazis type mentality. That's who he is now. I don't know how old he is, 75 or whatever, but it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, bro. Some people just use the left or the right to like build a personality, bro. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah,
same thing with like being gay, dude. Same thing with being gay.
Yeah.
Like they use that to build their personality. They use fucking, hey, I have a dog. They use that to build a. It's just like, when people don't have like a life or anything, man, or just anything else going on, I feel like whatever they're into just kind of just takes over.
100%. They have to find a team, and that has to identify who they are.
Yeah, they need to like a group. They need to have like, support. People to like think the same around them.
And it's funny too because you'd think that like comedy would have, within comedy, there's so many different factions.
Yeah,
there's so many. There's not. There used to be this thing, and I still think there is a little bit of it. But especially if you've done like really weird road gigs. Where you meet the comic and it's like a relief. Oh fuck, yes, another one of me, another one of us, like a comic who I can say something kind of fucked up, or I can let loose and not worry about being proper or whatever.
Right.
And there's, like I said, there still is that, but now there's so many different layers.
I know what you mean, dude. Yeah, if like you meet somebody and you're like, dude, I don't know if you're gonna talk about me after my set or something. You know what I mean? Like you're like
100%
be offended and then go spread the word like, oh hey, fucking Deejay had a gay joke that was super offensive.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, yeah, dude. It sucks that there's that comic even exists. Dude.
Right.
That's crazy.
100%, dude. Like for the first time, this was an audience member. And I've talked about this once or twice before. It's the first time I've been doing comedy 13 years, and I have pissed off people before.
Yeah.
But this was the first time where an audience member like went and like tried to get me like kicked out or like was really upset. And it was because
what was the joke?
Dude, it was like multiple jokes they got mad about. I did a vaccine joke, which it makes fun of both sides. Like I've told this vaccine joke in front of like fucking vaccinated and unvaccinated people, and it makes fun of like people that are extreme about either side. Like it's she just heard the word vaccine and heard that I was kind of making fun of people that were like obsessed with people need to be vaccinated, and all of a sudden she turned off the rest of what I was gonna say and just was already mad. And then I did that joke about trans people. About this one's kind of mean, but it's just like, why is it almost exclusively some of the ugliest men in the world that want to look like women? I'm like, you can't look like me and think you're, and I just do this whole breakdown of just like, sure, I'll call you a she, her, but, and she's like, he's making fun of trans women. And there was a fat joke I did too about people always say when fat chicks hold up the sign that says my body, my choice, they always say, well, no one wants to fuck you, sweetheart. And I'm just like, have you ever met black dudes before? And I just do this whole breakdown about they're getting the biggest, best dick in society. She said he's making fun of fat women, he's making fun of trans people, and he's making fun of COVID or something like that. She went and told like the owner, like really pissed off. I was like, what? Dude. And the jokes were, I wasn't like murdering, but I was doing like I was hearing laughter, like I was doing okay.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's a difference between like, dude. There's an art to telling, like, talking about that shit.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to be like, oh, man, I can't believe, so-and-so said a gay joke. That's so horrible. No, it's just like, even if, like, dude, like, we'll see him now, dude. Like, all these comedians say, like, fucking offensive jokes, but it's more just like, yeah, dude, the joke, he did a fucking gay joke and it fucking sucked,
Right.
It's just like,
well, I mean, Austin, there's a lot of, I don't chalk it up to like, oh, everyone's like, oh, Austin is a bunch of just like hack edgelords. I'm like, kind of, but it's just because they're new. Go to any town in the world that has more than a handful of people starting out in the first 16 months of doing comedy, and they're in their 20s. They're going to say some shit that's not funny, but there's an entire ecosystem of brand new fucking comedians in Austin right now that are coming from all over the place. So it's like, yeah, there's a few that are the exceptions, and they are very funny, and they have a unique outlook on things. But you're going to hear a lot of faggot, a lot of retard, a lot of gay, a lot of something that you already read on Twitter. Just like in the news right now with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Everyone has a joke that Mike Tyson, oh, who's he going to fight next? Fucking Robert E. Lee? Oh, he's going to fight Jimmy Carter. He's going to fight Clint Eastwood. And like all these comics and all these people, I was like, that's a Twitter joke.
Yeah,
you know? So you hear a lot of that. And,
yeah, dude, definitely. And, I started off offensive. I don't know. But I learned.
Right. A lot of people do.
Well, back in the day, whenever Austin was a thing, whenever I was starting in Austin, you would get banned from fucking mics for being offensive.
That's so crazy.
So I said some offensive jokes at Cherrywood. It's like a coffee shop.
Yeah, I've heard of that place.
Dude, and everybody was talking shit. And then, like that kind of, like, let me know, like, all right, well, you can't really get too fucking crazy if you want to like work around here,
I mean, that's kind of a good lesson to have. I wouldn't run a room like that, and I don't agree with it, but I feel like if you're a comic that like it's nice to have the ability to go clean. Like You know,
what made me a better writer, dude? I mean, at the end of the day, Austin would have made you a better writer back then because it forced you to talk about these things in like a different way.
Right. I mean, I do rooms where I can tell the crowd is super lefty, super woke, and I can still crush. But then I can go to like Temple, Texas, where it's a bunch of former military MAGA dudes, and I can crush because it's just like I know what to fucking and like the set is different, but it's not like it's all different jokes. It's like it's like 70% the same jokes, just told, tweaked, and like I'll leave out some of the heavier ones that I know will like trigger people. I'll just swap those out or not tell those or tell it differently or figure it out. You know? Like,
yeah. Do I need to like? So I've been working on now, man, just being more fluent, bro. Because right now I have I'm so tired of having my same, the same set list.
Yeah.
And I've threw in new jokes in there, but even those, like that feeling, right, where you just fucking.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But then you're like on a streak of just.
My goal right now is just to stop doing comedy for so long that I miss telling the jokes that I hate. Yeah. So like now that once I go on stage again this week, it'll be the first time in 2 weeks, and I'm like, I'm not bored with these anymore. Because
what's funny is 2 weeks. I was gonna say 2 weeks too. 2 weeks is usually the time limit of you're like, all right, I like these jokes again.
Oh yeah, for sure. So just getting on stage and getting laughter and just getting in like the whole rhythm going again will feel good. Yeah. Even if it's jokes that I'm so fucking tired of telling this homeless joke. Like
what I like about you is you're super fluent on stage. Like you're very like you're quick and you can like spot things out and just super.
Thank
fluent.
you, man.
I'm working on that right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because like comedy is like sports where people have their strengths and their weaknesses, and sometimes you're never going to be amazing at like I've brought up like certain like Luka Doncic or whatever. He's not a good defender, but he tries and he can probably improve a little bit. So it's like a person that's so good with crowd work, you kind of either have that or you don't. I mean, like you can find more confidence and just I've learned a lot of that talking off the top.
Yeah.
50% of that is just not being afraid to say anything. Because if you're confident and they believe in you, is the way I put it. It's like, this dude's in charge and he's funny and he's saying whatever the fuck he wants. Right. Sometimes if you just don't hesitate and say anything, it's funny. Like, but that some people will never have crowd work heavy personality. Right. They're like, and then sometimes crowd work people can never write like a fire fucking bit. Like, it's 100%. Just, and I feel like that's harder to gain.
How long would you be able to go just off the top?
I mean, and getting laughs, like
and like and like to where you're comfortable to be like, I can do X amount of time, and
it depends.
It'll probably be successful.
It depends on the crowd and how I'm feeling. So I'm not a person that could go do like 30 minutes of nothing but off. Well, I did a where was it? It was like at Maggie's, the side room. And this is like the third set in a row where I did mostly not material, and it was still killing. Where I was doing the shit that I don't even like, where I call it fishing. Yeah. So where are you two from? Oh, are you
fishing.
dating? Yeah. But it was like I was kind of I impressed myself because at one point I did like this whole like 10-minute conversation with these chicks from Minnesota, and it was killing. And then I got the light, and I was like, "Oh fuck! Did I do just 10 minutes of just talking to these chicks?"
Dude, that's awesome.
And I've never been that guy. Like, it's been hard. Like,
dude, I've seen dudes though that can get up there for like 20 minutes, man. Just go.
I mean, I see headliners that are like true headliners. They could do hours if they wanted.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
But
I've seen.
There's a little bit of a manipulation behind it too, though. So the kings of crowd work. It's still 25% material though, because they have like
the questions,
the questions, and if you're funny and they say something you're not expecting, you're gonna say something funny anyway. But sometimes you have these responses that are set. No matter what they say, this is gonna hit because it's like it's almost like a yes/no like response. It's like, I can say this funny punchline response no matter what they say.
Yeah, and then. Also, at that level, exactly where to direct everything. Like, exactly which direction, to pull the conversation. And,
right.
You just, like, you have, even though it's like you don't look like you have control, you still have, like, 100% of, control over the situation.
Yeah, for sure.
But, so that's what I'm working on now. Just every, just to get up there, no notes, it's fucking.
100%. Going in with. That to me is scary, and I'll do it sometimes. Yeah. But like going in with no plan, because like if I'm doing like a 30-minute set in my head, I always go off the rails. But I'm like I'm opening with this, opening with the whatever from Arizona, roasting myself, doing comedy downtown, and then maybe I'll go into the crazy shows on the road. Then I go into the Arab stuff. Then I'll go into the pothead thing. Then I'll go into the chick. And I have it layered in my head. I'm like, this is probably 40 minutes of material that I have prepared in order to do a 30-minute set, so I over-prepare. Right. But then I'll blank out or something in the crowd happens, and I fuck around for 2 minutes, and then now I'm telling something that was supposed to be at the end 10 minutes into my set, and then I bring up a joke I wasn't prepared, and then it's like, oh, I got – whether I'm bombing or crushing, it never goes – how it's as planned.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done this before in Vegas, and where you just you don't go up there with a plan. You plan just to talk about the room at first, intro, whatever.
Right.
And everything else is just fucking left to the comedy gods.
Right.
And the 2 times I did it, I'd say went okay. It wasn't amazing, but it gave me a new way to say certain things, and there was definitely I got something from it,
Right,
sure.
100%. Dude, that's why I miss the Dig Pub mic. As crazy as Corey is,
no, for sure,
and as unhinged and wild and no real audience that room was. I said that. Who did I say this to the other day? I'm like, this might be cheesy, but there was 2 or 3 sets at Dig Pub where for just that 10 to 15 minutes, I was the comic that I'm trying to become.
Dude, absolutely. That's
where
you said it exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm just like, if I could do this consistently, where it's just 100% me, where it's there's a little bit of material, but it's mostly bitching about my day, riffing, roasting, a new joke crushes. I closed on something strong. I was like, for that 15 to 20 minutes or however long Corey lets me go up, I was like, that's who I want to be.
Dude, that was such a it shouldn't that room should not be comfortable. You should not be comfortable going into a weird ass corner of a bar to talk to 4 people.
Dude, I saw comics refuse to go on in that room.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, I'm not going out.
They're in their pussies, dude.
Yeah, pussies.
But so it shouldn't feel comfortable. But dude, when you get up there, it is the most comfortable. Dude, like you said, man, you felt all right, this is who I'm trying to be. This is literally dude, you find your voice so easily in there.
It's good to have rooms like that because I'm not saying you're required or even should do that.
Right.
I wouldn't be I'm featuring at fucking Cap City and I'm going to go up there and just start raging about my fucking day and ripping around and shit. You can have a part of that, but
you should feel comfortable enough to do that.
Yes, dude. I said, I've even mentioned it on my podcast. I'm not going to I said, I dropped an N-bomb on stage at Dig Pub. It's because
I thought you were going to say Cap City. I was like,
no, hell no. That's the point I'm making. I'll say shit at a room of 5 audience members and 6 comics, all intimately together. And here's the thing: I was saying what someone told me, so it wasn't me just saying it. Right. It was the story about the fucking dude who ended up going on Kill Tony and doing it. That guy from Montenegro. Did you see that set?
Nah.
There's a crazy homeless dude who went on Kill Tony, and he says Montenegro, but he says the N-word as his punchline. And he told me this 6 months ago. He walked up to me and he's like, "Do you want to hear my minute?" And I was like, and he just starts telling me before I can answer. And he drops the N-word on me 3 different times and then takes out his teeth. He takes out his front teeth and goes, "Who really needs reparations now?" And it was so bad that I was dying laughing. And I just told the story of what this crazy homeless dude told me. And it murdered so hard at Dig Pub that comics were just dying. I couldn't even get into the next joke. And I was just like, you need rooms where you can just be crazy like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, bro. Where you can just blow off steam. And
yeah.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, bro, every room I used to run like that. I used to do the parlor. I wanted everybody to do 7 minutes and just fucking blow.
Dude, I loved that room. I did it 3 or 4 times when you were running it.
It was fun. And then I did Anderson Mill, but this is before, dude, we would have 10 comics. So I would give everybody 10 to 15 minutes, and then you just fucking go.
Yeah.
So
that's what. So 4 minutes ain't shit, man. I understand. If you have you have a plan, you're like, I got these 2 bits I need to work on. That's it. But if you're trying to have a full experience of a set, I feel like you need to have 10 minutes on stage, man.
Because in all honesty, man, nobody should be rushing jokes.
No,
you shouldn't be rushing to the punchline. You should be be very comfortable with silence. Be very comfortable with the tempo of what you're saying. You know what I mean? You can't rushing to get 3 jokes off in 5 minutes is it's pushing it. You know what I mean?
Well, just like Comedy Mothership, like I've done that so many. Like I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and this is no shit because Mothership is on its own planet. Like they're a well-oiled super machine. They have their people and they have their fans. Their fans. They're of institution.
They are fucking set, dude.
But for me personally, what I was wanting out of it and what I was expecting after doing the open mic like 14 times and mostly killing, like. I had a few shaky sets, a couple in my head I didn't like, but then I also had like 3 or 4 where I'm just like, you can't, and this is not bragging at all. I'm just like, for that night, for that 3 minutes, like the entire room was laughing at full volume. So I'm like, I crushed for the 3 minutes as good as I can crush for 3 minutes, and it didn't really, and I'd get confused, like I haven't gotten a call back to have, and then I've seen who's gotten past, who hasn't. A lot of people as funny or funnier than me who also haven't gotten past. So the last time I did it, maybe a month ago, it was that crazy day where they didn't have Kill Tony, and there was like maybe like 250 people signed up for Mothership Mike, which was wild. I'd never seen anything like it. I got on, I went up and did shit that I'd never done in there, and I got laughs, but I felt so forced, so fake, and I just wasn't having fun. And then went over to Peckerheads like an hour later and did like one of those like half crowd work sets, and I felt so free.
Yeah.
And at that point in my head, I was just like, I'm done trying to get accepted at Mothership at this point. It'll always be there. If an opportunity ever happens, I'll sign up again for it someday. But like this whole like, what do I need to change for them to like, you know, book me? Like I don't care anymore. Like it felt like freedom. Honestly,
what is your? In all honesty, what is your goal in comedy? What is your goal? Like your end? What is the point to where you're like, all right, man, I did it, man. I fucking did it.
I don't think there's ever I did it because I want to be like a Don Rickles who's doing comedy when he's 86. So it's just like paying my bills, sustaining a well-off living in comedy. So like I'm not like, oh, I need to have 7 specials or I need to have this amount of followers. I really just want to make people laugh, do comedy at a high enough level to where I can pay my bills and I can headline and I can travel. And it's just, I can consider it a full-fledged career without having to fucking struggle and be broke and do side gigs and wonder if I'm going to make it or whatever. I just, to be the people I look up to. Like, you know, like to me, the best, Doug Stanhope is one of my favorite people ever.
Right.
I feel like he has the perfect career. For me, he's probably in the top 10 most respected living comedians in the world.
100%.
He gets the respect matters. People pretend like it doesn't. Oh, I don't care if people think. Yes, you do.
If Bill Burr ever says you're fucking funny, dude,
that's what I'm saying.
You fucking
and he
run
has
with that shit.
A legion of devout fans, but he's not like Rogan. He's not like he's not fucking, you know, Dave Chappelle. He has plenty of money, and he can go out in public, and I've seen it firsthand. Hell, at least a dozen times where he shows up to Tucson in a packed bar. No one knows who the fuck he is besides like the 5 comedians that love him. And he goes on stage. Sometimes he murders. I've watched Doug Stanhope bomb at a dive bar working on new shit and trying to do crowd work, and the crowd doesn't like him. And I'm like, you realize this is a legend in front of you guys?
Dude, that's so cool.
I love that. So cool. And he I remember he gave us a speech one day. This was like in 2012 maybe. I was like a year in. And he's just like, I'm so fucking jealous of you guys because I cannot be what you are again. And he was being honest. It sounds corny, but he was saying he missed being an open micer.
Yeah, dude, because in all honesty, bro, you know, I don't know if I would consider myself. I do open mics for sure. But you know, I'm definitely, whenever I first started, just open mics, it was like a weird little world that you go, dude. All those little stories. You fucking go to San Antonio to do their open mics, and it's just like
San Marcos,
shit like that. Yeah, dude. It's just like, you know, you're new to all this, so it's a fucking like little Disney World. But so I get it, man. I 100% get it. But so that's what you want to do, right? You want to get to the point. You want to have like a Doug Stanhope career.
That would be like the best case. That to me, that would be like perfect, which is kind of maybe not the way to measure what your goals are.
No. But I know what you're saying. I know you want that, like, you know, you want the living style.
Yeah, where you have living comfortably with the respect and, you know, enough money,
and you're a good and you're a fucking great
and you're a good comic, and you have the fans that like where it's not crazy.
Right.
You know, so to me that's perfect. But even like several notches beneath that, if I was making like, you know, if I was making like $100K a year and I was working these rooms twice a month, you know, 3 times a month headlining clubs, and it was
Right.
not a pain in the ass, and it wasn't a lonely life either.
So, well, see, that's what I was kind of like getting at. Is like, so that's what kind of helps me with the mothership. It's like,
Yeah.
the mothership is just very, very. It's like a fucking, like a frat, right?
It's like a country club almost.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like a country club.
And I'm not trying to throw shade, and it's not because
No,
right.
right.
If someone hears this, like they don't give a fuck about me, and like they have, it doesn't matter. But,
but it's not. But we're not wrong though. It's like, yeah, dude. It's a small little.
What's his name said it, and everyone was. I mean, because he is such like an overall kind of toxic human being who burns bridges. But Ty Rivera was kind of right when he's just like, the mothership is not like the comedians in Austin are absolutely like overblowing and overrating the
mothership.
Not saying because saying overrating, because it is a great club and it's a big deal, but I'm saying you're overrating in comparison to what it's going to do for you.
Right.
If you're a 3-year in, hell, me even 13 years in, but if you're a few year in comedian and
Right.
you're obsessing about getting past at the mothership, that's just not I feel like that's a pointless mentality.
No, dude. Yeah, and going back to your goals, right? It's just, you don't need that stepping stool to be a part. It doesn't like kill your goal. It does, it just makes you move in a different direction, right? But
that's why, like right now, like just getting on Kill Tony again, I
Yeah.
feel like is a bigger deal than getting past that mothership. Because if I got past that
Right.
mothership, it would feel good. It would be a little bit of clout. You'd get fire audiences a couple times a week, or however many times they would have you.
Right.
But then you're kind of just like, oh, it's a $50 spot, $100 spot, fire crowd, meeting some people. Kill Tony's that exposure in today's comedy climate that you need views, hits, and
Right.
reaction and attention. So that would go further along, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you could use mothership as, of course, like your home club.
A credit too,
Work
for
your
sure.
Yeah, your credit. Work your jokes out there. Have a fucking constant, flow of shows happening.
I mean, it would be. I won't even say the name of this comic, but there's a comic that works there who I like too. But they have been doing a lot. They've been there since the beginning. And they did a show and didn't go that well. And they admitted that the mothership was making them soft. They admitted, because they're like, if you're doing a little boy sold out and everyone is excited and you have your jokes, and this is a person that probably doesn't write as much as they should either.
Right.
They were just like, they went to like a rough, just Josh Castro ass setting and bombed, and they admitted that like, fuck, I need to get out and work harder because like I'm just getting these cushy ass lit fucking audiences all the time. And
Dude, but I've seen that with Comedy Store people too, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've seen Comedy Store people, but that happens everywhere, bro. Everywhere you go, there's always like the comedians who only do the club, who only do the home club. They won't do anything else but that home club.
Right.
And you cannot live like that, dude. Like, that's, you do become.
No, you got to go into enemy territory. You got to go on the. I call it road games too. It's just like you got to go in a hostile environment where you got to go to Cameron Indoor Stadium at Duke against the number 3 team in the country, where you're probably going to get your ass kicked. And if you lose, good. Hopefully you learn something.
Yeah, dude, you have to fucking be you have to be uncomfortable. You have to like keep pushing yourself. You cannot if you're stagnant. That shit is gonna happen, man. It's just
you can't get comfortable. That's a big thing for sure. What did this person say? We have Jeff Crabtree Iron Patriot merch coming quick. Iron Patriot was like that person that was on Kill Tony like years ago. Like I think in the first like 30 episodes or something like that. Damn. He was dressed up like Iron Man, and they called him the Iron Patriot, and he was a big part. And then he had like a falling out with them, and now he has like a podcast or something now.
Dude, I thought that was George Perez told me he was Iron Man.
He was Iron Patriot?
That's what, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that, but yeah, that's what George Perez said.
It was him? Like
I don't know, dude. All I know was George said that he was Iron Man. I don't know if it was one time or a couple times, but he was Iron Man.
Yeah. But I know Iron Patriot now is like active on social media and shit.
Okay, then yeah, I don't know about that. I just know that Perez was definitely. I don't
Maybe
know.
this person in the chat that's talking about it will clarify. But yeah, a couple people always bring up, because there's people on here that follow me from Kill Tony, so like Iron Patriot's like a big deal in their world because he was like one of the original part of the whole fucking deal.
So when did you hear about Kill Tony?
Dude, I signed up for Kill Tony in like 2013.
Damn.
So I've known Tony. I've not known him, not like we're friends, but I met Tony Hinchcliffe before Kill Tony.
Wow, dude.
Like 2012. I went to LA. This is when every comic gets this thing, especially like if you're okay. Like, I mean, looking back, every comic that's ever good, we're always like, oh, I was horrible. And some people are worse off than others. But I think we all, at the beginning, at least get some laughter or feel. It's not like you're just. Absolutely. It's not like you're just completely bombing every fucking show. Right. And so I was like, I felt like I was funny and I was good. So LA's like 7 hours from Tucson. So I would go to LA sometimes and hit open mics, go to the Comedy Store and shit. And I remember one day I was high as fuck too. And I remember I was walking around the Comedy Store and there was a door that's like locked. It's like you're not even supposed to enter it. And I go to pull on the door, and I look, and Tony and like a group of other comics were like smoking a joint, and they just looked at me, and they knew that I knew I wasn't supposed to go in that door. So I just like looked around and walked away. And as I walked off, they all started laughing, like they were like laughing at me. And that was like, that was 2012. I was just like, this high weirdo who's trying to walk in and fucking lock the door.
That's funny, bro. I actually was on Kill Tony 2017.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it when they were touring around, or was it LA?
No, they were touring around. And it was Houston.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't even know what Kill Tony was until that day. But
wow.
Yeah, it was definitely it is a wild concept of a show. It's like America's Got Talent.
Well, it used to. I mean, I'm not even gonna. I mean, we all have our fucking opinions. I mean, I feel like the show is great for the product, for the fans, but like as a comic that takes comedy serious in the city where it's recorded, like you do get a little burned out on all the lunatics that sign up and clog it up, and
dude.
And I'll say on record, I mean, whatever. I feel like more and more lately, there's more pre-planned bucket pulls than ever in the history of the show. Like, where,
for sure.
I think that's fine though.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's.
Imagine having a show that's getting a million views in the first fucking 24 hours that it's out. It's like you're trending. You're one of the most popular podcasts. I think Kill Tony. I know they say it's the #1 live podcast. I think it's like the 30th most popular podcast overall, like in the world. Like it's up there now.
It has to.
So you got to sprinkle in a little bit of predetermined, like, I want to throw this person's very funny, they could really utilize this exposure.
Bro,
like
I've like seen shit like that where like somebody just comes from like Canada and then like they get on and you're like, how the fuck did that
dude, I goes deep. I won't even say how much. I know like real shit where I look at a text message from people on the high up about this person's getting on. Like it goes. I probably shouldn't say that, but like it is what it is. Like,
but dude, you know what's weird is nobody can describe, bro. Like nobody. There's no way to describe how crazy the waiting area fucking is.
Dude, they set you up. I kind of respect it in a way, but they set you up for panic and failure, kind of. Like, I mean, if you know what you're doing and you got a good minute and you're charming and the interview goes right, whatever. Because I've had every experience where I've crushed the minute, bombed the interview, kind of bombed the minute, got a good enough interview to get secret show. Like, I've had like Tony loves me, Tony fucking hates me. Like, I've had it all. But I feel like, especially now at the mothership, at Vulcan, it was different. You could stand there. You could watch the show. You could be like, is Tony in a weird mood?
I thought Vulcan was one of the worst because, dude, you're in this little fucking
No,
cage,
I hated
dude.
like the cage, but I enjoyed being able to watch the show. To me, being able to get the temperature of the room and feel if the vibe is off or, I enjoyed, like, I know who the guest is. So-and-so is sitting there. This was said earlier. I'd throw an audible in my head. I was like, I'm not doing that joke now because that his version of a joke, kind of like mine, bombed. Or if I get up there, I'm going to talk about this because that dude told that story.
That makes sense. I know what you're saying.
So there's like, it's less fucking, it's hectic. It's insanity now. You're hanging out at a bar across the street. They call you up. You have to run. They fucking make you run, and then you go in the back. You don't know who the guest is. And then sometimes, because I've been on twice at Mothership, one time it was like I had to wait for like 15 minutes, which was kind of better. One of the times it was like 10 fucking seconds and I got thrown up there and I'm winded. I'm literally breathing heavy because I was just running 30 seconds ago.
How'd you do?
One of the times I killed, one of the times I kind of bombed. Like the Cat Williams thing bombed. But then I still got secret show and I had I did this Ben Shapiro thing during that interview. That clip on different Kill Tony YouTube's has like millions of views. Like where I'm doing that Ben Shapiro fucking a woman thing. But that was my worst experience on the show though, because like they roasted the fuck out of me. My minute bombed. Like it was not fun. Like it wasn't like that was like out of the 5, that was the worst one.
Damn, man. Yeah, dude.
That was the night I was talking to you, by the way. No, seriously, I've told this story where I've gone, like, I think two out of the 5 Kill Tonys, I was the last pull of the night. Yeah. And we were standing, this is when it was still at Poor Choices. This was last August. And we were standing there, and I literally told you this. I was like, I don't even want to get up now. And then fucking Colt goes, Ali Musa. And I remember that. And I went up and bombed my Cat Williams joke, and Joe Rogan and Post Malone were there. It's the 3rd highest viewed episode in the history of the show.
Oh, damn.
And it was just like they just roasted me, and then I kind of like the interview did okay enough. But then I got Secret Show, but then I remember I was reading the comments, which I usually don't even like watch my appearances, but like I was just interested.
Right.
And people were like, how the fuck did he get Secret Show? They were like, how the fuck he sucks. And I was like, whatever. Like,
yeah, dude. It's I mean, hey man, dude, I've seen a lot of good comedians bomb there.
A minute is not a good game. It's just like it almost be like trying to like see someone's like athletic skill with just like a quick like little like drill. Or it's like, oh, you're gonna run around, shoot a few jump shots. We're gonna judge if you're a good basketball player or not.
Exactly. It was like run a 40.
I mean, if you're airballing the shots, you probably trash. That's probably like the people that you can tell aren't good. Like there's a lot of people that go up there. If you're just airballing, you have zero coordination. But if you're like,
yeah, dude, if you're not even athletic and
if you're exactly if you fall down. If you're on the basketball court and you literally fall down and grab your knee and that's your whole thing, or if you're a person who makes one shot and misses 2, which is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
even I've seen comedians bomb on there, and I can tell that they're like a seasoned guy. Like by the way they have that weird like look in their eyes when their joke is failing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, dude, that dude knows what's going on. That dude's not delusional. He knows he's eating dick, and
right.
You know,
100%. It's such a weird thing. Like it just. The fact it's gotten to where it's gotten is fucking wild.
Yeah, dude, but the waiting. Last time I was there was last Monday. There's fucking people playing. There's like an emo with a guitar. Everyone's smoking fucking an insane amount of weed.
Right.
Fucking dabs. Everyone's getting drunk. Everyone's on mushrooms. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? What are y'all gonna do when y'all get called? Y'all just
right. Like I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And it's not even. I have nothing but empathy, and everyone can do their thing and thrive. But let's say 200 people sign up. I say people. Tony says comics. I say people. And I think the way I say it is correct because literally a lot of them have never been on stage.
Right.
And are you really a comic if you've been doing it for a month and you've been on stage twice in Boise, Idaho, and you flew out here? And maybe you'll get there some fucking day, but I'm just like 200 people signed up. Maybe we'll be generous. Cut it in half. 100 of them are comics at the lowest common fucking level of measurement. Like I'm talking, we're scraping. Oh, you've been on stage 3 times at a bar.
Right.
And then let's say we'll cut it in half for the people that are really going for it. People that are like, I've been on stage, even if it's a year, whatever. You've been on a year and you've been on stage, 50 times.
Yeah.
We're down to 50 people now. And then if you cut that 50, who really is ready for this right now to where they're going to utilize the situation and have some semblance of the confidence and, structure of a joke? Maybe 30. And then out of those, like, you know what I mean? It keeps getting lower and lower.
Bro, I saw somebody take a dab. Now, I swear it just happened last morning. Somebody took a dab.
Oh, my God.
And then threw up. And I was like, dude, what if this motherfucker gets called, like, right now?
And he got called?
Yeah, what if, like,
dude, my God.
These people are, like, just... What the fuck? It doesn't even make any sense.
Like
dude.
I said, people romanticize being like an addict and a drunk with comedy. They're like, oh, it's the only job where you can be like fucked up. And it's like, first off, it's not a job for you. You've been doing comedy for 10 minutes and you've never been paid, or if you have, it's been in chicken wings and $20 bills if you're lucky.
And there's reasons why we drink. It's not just because it's cool, motherfuckers. It's because like...
Yeah, it's like if you're a fucked up person, you're going to be attracted to wanting to be a comedian. So with that, you might be some form of an addict. But you don't just feel like, I don't like working and I don't have friends, so I'm just going to... compound my tendencies with more drugs and more alcohol and then chase comedy on top of it. It's just like...
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
you got to get to a point where you take it serious. Like,
no, absolutely, man.
A lot of people just use it as a hangout to get fucked up with other people.
Absolutely, dude. That's definitely what the Tony waiting vibe is. It's just everybody just wants to hang out, get fucked up, and fuck around.
Yeah, I mean, I used to get fucked up. I don't know if I would be getting fucked up before Kill Tony. Yeah. But I've been blackout on stage before.
Dude, same, bro.
Same. I did. So I remember when I opened for Joey Diaz like the second time. It was one of the nights. I did fine on stage, so it's like I didn't fuck that up.
Yeah.
But I just got really wasted, so fucking wasted that I slept in the parking lot. It was Cinco de Mayo, like 2018 or something. And I remember I got a motel too because I was living in Tucson. I went up to Phoenix or Tempe, and the Motel 6, I'm not even exaggerating, was less than a mile. It was like here to Tramps. That's how close it was. Damn. Mr. Tramps is this bar for the listeners that's up the fucking street, like a 2-minute drive.
Yeah.
And I was so wasted. I was like, yeah, I could make it, but it's Cinco de Mayo, so cops are everywhere in my head. So I just slept in the fucking parking lot.
Honestly, bro, that's a good move, bro.
And then I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, I mean, this is kind of stupid behavior to get that wasted to where you can't drive half a mile.
Bro, I used to have to do that shit all the time because I used to have a breathalyzer in my car.
Okay, yeah.
So I'd drive somewhere, but I'd accidentally drink or something. You know what I mean? Like, just like,
right.
I fucking have one and then wait. And fuck, all right, I'm going to just sleep in my car for a couple hours. And that turns into you're just fucking drinking all night.
Yep.
So I would do that all the fucking time. Just sleep in my car, wait till, I'm sober enough to fucking blow into my car and then, drive away.
Yeah, towards like the end of my drinking, I would do this thing where, because I mean I could put them away and I could still be pretty good. Like I could drink like a lot and still be functional on stage. But when I would do like weekends at like clubs in Phoenix or at Laughs in Tucson, it was the one where really I was like I need to chill out. So I made it to where I couldn't have more than 2 drinks until I was off stage because I was like hosting usually.
Right.
So I'd have like a drink or two for during like the first show.
Yeah.
And then in between shows I couldn't have anything. And then I would host the second show and then I was free to just do whatever the fuck I wanted because I was doing this shit to where I was like 6 to 8 drinks deep by show number 2.
Damn. No,
one time it was like I was having to concentrate to not fuck up. Like I wasn't bombing, but I wasn't doing as good as I should be doing.
Right.
And it was taking a lot of effort to not fuck it up. Like I caught myself slurring, and then I had to focus on not slurring. So I was like, now 50% of my energy on being entertaining and connecting with the crowd is focused on not slurring right now.
Right.
So now I'm not as funny, and I'm sure I look weird. I'm not like really making eye contact. I'm just trying to focus on not fucking up now. And so I was like, after that, I put in that like only 2 drinks total until the second show was over, and then I would drink till like 4 a.m. But like it was still like.
Yeah, it was especially a Saturday, man. I mean, dude, I've seen comedians ruin a lot of opportunities because they got too fucked up.
Oh yeah, dude, there was a comic. I don't even remember his name, and I would say his name if I remembered it. But he went on stage and was so wasted that he started repeating jokes
dude, I've seen that shit, dude.
And then they had the dude named Gary Hood at the time. His name was Hoodie. He died like 8 years ago. He was an old school comic from L.A. who started in like the 70s. And
damn, dude.
He was the manager at Laughs.
Yeah.
And he's funny, kind of like, I mean, rest in peace. He was a great dude. He was like a mentor for me. But I think all the comics from the 60s and 70s are all a little hack. Like, he was super funny and he had some original jokes, but he had a lot of that street shit too. Yeah, where it's like, okay, I've heard this before. But he was, that aside, he was a capable comic who would, sometimes if you're a little hacky and you're good, no one murders harder than a hack. There's a reason.
Dude, honestly, bro,
he had to save the day, and they kicked him off stage after like he was supposed to do 45 minutes as a headliner. They kicked him off stage after like 15 minutes, and Hoodie had to go up and carry the night out, and he crushed and shit. But I was just like, that is crazy. They have to go into the bullpen. They had to pull a fucking comic, and, like.
Well, dude, he's already told the story, so I'm not he's not gonna get mad. But, dude, Willie got so drunk.
Okay, Willie Barcena, who you open for all the time, right?
Yeah, Willie Barcena got so drunk in El Paso that he fell asleep on stage.
That is wild.
Dude, that is he said he drank, it was like 16 drinks he had.
Oh, my God.
And he has people come up to him and give him drinks.
Right, yeah.
Dude, that is a fucking... Dude, I've been to shows where he's had to, like, tell people to stop because...
They keep buying him shots and shit. Yeah,
it's gonna end up being like 15 fucking shots. So
yeah, I've seen Stanhope is so well. It's different with him, I guess. But I watched him. He did like 2 hours, which was crazy. I'd never seen at the time. I'd never seen a comic do that long.
Yeah.
And he probably had 20 shots during the 2 hours. He just kept going shot. And people would bring him. And then he just, like, it was weird because, like, it was at the Rialto Theater in front of, like, probably, like, 500 people, maybe more.
Where in Wyoming?
In Tucson.
Oh, okay.
And he was just doing shots. But, yeah, it was crazy, though. I was just like, how is he still able to talk? Like, at the time. I mean, I was, like, 26 at the time.
Right.
So, like, later on, once, like, I became a real drinker, I was like, oh, I probably could have done that, too. But at the time.
20 is a lot, bro.
I mean, when you have the tolerance, though.
Right, no,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, because
but how was the end of his set? Was he like? Could you tell he was like fucking up, or was it like
not really? But then solid? He said I talked to him about it later, and he said that he blacked out, and doesn't remember finishing the set. But I was like, you seem pretty aware. Like, so he used to do this thing at his house all the time, and people have heard these stories, but you haven't heard it.
Yeah.
He had something called the Fun House in his backyard. It's like a bar it's mostly to watch sports. He has like every NFL team's, because he's a huge sports gambler. So he has every, and I used to gamble there all the time and like win money and shit. It was crazy.
That's
so every NFL team's helmet would be like surrounding, and there'd be TVs everywhere, and he'd have NFL Sunday Ticket. He'd be betting money, throwing cash around and shit. But it's like as big as my apartment. Like, it's not a big room, you know what I mean? Like or the front room, it's small. And he'd be like, let's do comedy. And he had a stage in there. He built like a tiny ass fucking stage, like as big as that rug or like less. And
damn,
he did this at least 3 or 4 times, where every time he got real drunk, he'd be like, let's do comedy. And he would like force us to go on stage. Like, comics that would be like, you know, kind of intimidated, like, Doug Stanhope, I'm gonna fucking perform, I'm drunk, blah blah blah.
And it was all bad.
Sometimes it was great. Like, I mean, I did a few. One time I was so high from a pop brownie I couldn't talk.
Oh, dude,
and
that's fucking crazy.
Stanhope went on stage and translated for me. He'd be like, "So what is it?" And I would like mumble something, and then he would translate.
That is hilarious.
It crushed so hard, but. And then
how many people are there? Like, do you have
like
audience?
Fucking like 15 people. Like, it's so small. It's like literally just his backyard.
And are they all comedians or what?
No, it's like just random Bisbee people, neighbors and friends.
Bro,
and
that's a cool audience then. Honestly.
No, it's cool. But I remember I've told this story a lot, but this was funny, and I get it. I'm not even like mad at the comics for this. To me, it's just funny.
Yeah.
Because I had like the in for Stanhope at the time, because like we were doing a show at some place in Bisbee, and a bunch of Phoenix comics were like were there on the show. And then I texted Doug, and I was like, I'm with Phoenix Comics. And he's like, come over. And so we all went over, and a lot of them are like nervous and shit.
Right.
And he's like, well, let's do comedy. And we're all doing comedy. And he is fucking schwacked wasted. I'm talking, he's like real wasted. And I'm just like, he's probably not going to remember this, because the next day, a couple of times, he's like, did we do comedy last night? He would like, and I'm like, yeah, we did.
That's hilarious.
So he's in one of those drunken modes. There's a comic on stage. I won't even say their name because they're a good comic. And they were like, it looked like they were up there doing an audition for a club. Like, they were hitting them with the A material, doing pretty well, too.
Yeah.
You know, with the 20 people or whatever, kind of crushing a little bit. And I'm like, oh, they think they're auditioning for Doug Stanhope. I walked around the bar to go get another drink. I almost stepped on Doug Stanhope's head because he was sleeping on the floor.
Oh, my God.
So I'm like, this guy thinks that he's auditioning for Doug. Doug is sleeping right now, 20 feet from you. You just can't see him because the bar's in the way.
Oh, dude.
You know, and that's how the nights would go there. It was crazy.
That sounds fun, though, man.
Oh, it was fire. Yeah, it was super. I did a show there where Anthony Jeselnik hosted it and brought me on stage.
Dude, that is insane.
It was crazy. And he was like talking to me after, like, how long at the time I've been doing comedy? Like 6 years maybe. So I was like, yeah. Cool. And he was cool because he was like, you guys have no idea how honored you are to have me bring you up. Like, he was just saying shit like that. Like, he was being like a funny, like arrogant, but like jokingly. But yeah, he didn't really do much time. He did like some jokes and then kind of killed, and then would just bring people up and just riff in between the comics.
Anyway, I saw Anthony Jeselnik once at the Oddball Fest. Dude, he fucking killed it, bro. He definitely killed it.
What is that festival here that's so alternate? It's like the
Moon Tower Festival?
No, not Moon Tower.
Oh, Altercation?
Altercation, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. It was like back in the day. All right, look,
a lot of those altercation comedians are like Doug Stanhope adjacent. Like, there's people that I know are like either his good friends or they've done shows with him, or I've met. Yeah. Some of them are for sure.
Dude, everybody, I don't know. I don't know how it is now, but back in the day, yeah, it was like, I don't know. You would have to like message. Like,
it feels so cut off. Like, I'm like, oh, they still do that? Because I remember like 10 plus years ago, I would see the Altercation Comedy Festival in Austin. And then I moved here and I was like, oh, they still do that. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's super easy to get on. All you literally have to do is like message somebody. I think back in the day that's what it was.
Yeah.
So that might have changed, but I know all you had to do was pretty much message somebody. It was like a really cool first like festival.
Right.
I never did it because I never liked anybody on it. But,
right.
You know.
And now there's like 2 Moon Towers, I think. They do like 2 a year. They do like April and September. I'm pretty sure they do 2 Moon Towers now. I have no idea how to get into it or.
Bro, it's the Laugh it's like a company. The Laugh I don't know.
Laughs Unlimited? No, that's a club.
I don't know. I forgot what it's called, but it's dude, it's such a tight little.
I know. I see.
It's ramped by the Paramount. It's all the same company.
Yeah.
And, I can't think of it's a Laugh something. It's like a company, but dude, they have all the connections in Austin, bro. All the Comedy Central connections. Yeah. All the industry connections, but they only like 3 people.
Yeah, I look at the list and I'm just like, okay, there's some older Austin comics that have kind of moved on to do some things they're in, and then there's like a few old guard comics, and then other than that, there's just like real touring like famous comics, and that's it.
Those old like guard comics, it's like, dude, that's why I don't get like what. How, bro? You do not do comedy anymore.
That's
you are not doing comedy.
That's such an important thing is being active and actually doing comedy. I can't imagine getting on like an important festival with like real crowds and like you're not even active.
Yeah, you can't. You have other comedians, right, who are like working and trying to do better, and you're like literally going to the same mic once a week, maybe even like once a month, and just like fucking around. You know what I mean? It's just, to me, it's crazy, man. But that shit happens every fucking
I look at the list every year. I mean, I've been here 3 years, and I see like they post that big ass thick chunk of like text, and you see the big names at the top that you can read clearly, and once you get down to the bottom, I'm like, oh, they're on this. Holy shit.
Yeah, like who the fuck, who even is finding this guy? I haven't seen him in like fucking years.
Yeah. Do you think that all the comedy in Austin is sustainable? I don't think it is. I mean, if people are going to find money and they're going to funnel money and they're going to get investors who believe in shit, but I feel like that some of these rooms, and I don't wish any room to close because I feel like more room, more opportunity, more live comedy. One thing I am kind of against is just anyone and everyone running showcases that in certain areas, because that just gives a bad image of comedy, and people go watch that shit and they're just like, I'm good on live comedy. Yeah, but like the actual comedy clubs, or the ones that are trying to be real clubs, I feel like it's a miracle that at least 2 haven't closed.
Yeah, I think it is sustainable, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it is, just because you have so many more people moving here, and honestly, Austin's becoming like a comedy city, man. Like, the people are all for it. Like, everybody, you're in a town now where like 80% of the people like comedy.
Right. No, I agree.
So I do think it's sustainable.
I've seen some of these rooms and like the turnout and some of the talking behind the scenes. It's like,
some rooms have closed, bro. If you think about it, you had fucking was that room in the Brass Tap over here?
Oh yeah, the was it Blue something? What was it?
No, it was Romo Room.
I just the logo was blue, but Brass Tap.
yeah. That one closed. South Austin Comedy Club closed.
And then East Austin has closed and moved.
Yeah.
And then they tried reopening the old location. Then I never heard about it again. They tried the Tiger Den or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
I saw briefly they were doing shows again, and then I never heard about it. And this was like 4 months ago.
Yeah, and dude, there's definitely comedy clubs. I don't know. I hope. I don't know. I hope none of them, all of them that are happening.
Like
right
I said,
I'm pretty happy with.
Yeah, and I've said before on this podcast and to you that I wish that there was more. Even though it's weird. It's a weird mentality because like I don't really like cookie cutter corporate just bullshit stuff either. But at the same time, if you're going to be like a big time comedy city, we need a few more. Like
improv.
Like Cap City is the only traditional comedy club in Austin where there's a real calendar. You go to their website. It's a real website with dates across the board. You see this comic for 5 shows. You see this comic for 5 shows. Mothership is that, but Mothership is so much bigger than that, and they have their own it's on its own.
Yeah, dude, it's like an independent fucking.
Exactly. So I do consider the mothership that, but it's
like a comedy. It's like a comedy store. You can't even compare it.
Exactly. No, exactly. So, all there is Cap City. Everything else is just local clubs where, I mean, Creek does this shit where it's like they try for like a month to have a real calendar, and it's like, oh, there's 4 shows with this comic. There's 4 in the next week, but then it's mostly just local shit.
Yeah, bro. I think
I think that's cool, but like,
no, we definitely
need more.
That's one way we can definitely be sustainable.
Dude, Phoenix has like 7 clubs. I know Phoenix is a way bigger city, but there's smaller cities in Austin that have like 3 or 4 like clubs.
Yeah,
where it's like improv, punchline,
I mean, dude, Dallas
funny
has
bone.
Like Dallas has like, you know.
Yeah, they have improvs. They have house of comedy's Mic Drop now.
Yeah,
it changed.
Yeah, it is.
But they have Mic Drop. They have like 2 hyenas. They have an improv. I'm like, that's I feel like Austin needs a couple more, like straight up.
Just honestly, it just needs one more. It just needs one more.
One more
straight comedy club that is also opened up for like other comedians besides the fucking 4 that they choose from.
No shit. Yeah. Dude. Well, apparently Rogan's gonna open a theater or something.
Okay. I could see that.
He wants to open a comedy theater.
How crazy would it be if that's where Kill Tony was on Mondays now?
Oh, I could see it. Or they would at least do it like once a month there. Like it would be a thing for sure.
That's almost like too much money not to just do.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh, instead of making $800,000 tonight, we're gonna make $1.2 million tonight. Like, you know what I mean?
God, like, dude, it's so crazy how unstoppable that movement is.
Oh yeah.
Like,
no matter,
you can't do anything about it.
No.
Nobody can do anything about it. That shit is taken off.
Even I haven't been on in almost a year, and I feel like that the show has tripled in popularity in 1 year, in my opinion.
Dude, think about all that shit that's happened.
The Puerto Rico, the Tom Brady roast, the Joe Rogan just becoming more and more famous. I'm like,
and the Trump thing that fucking happened to Tony.
It used to take the Puerto Rico thing.
Yeah, the Puerto Rico thing.
Dude, so it used to take an average episode. Like, I remember, like, when I first moved out here, 2021, 2022, it'd be like, okay, after a year, it would get, the best episode would get 1 million views. After a year. Now, it's a year in like fucking 16 hours. I mean, it's a million in less than a day. And
no way.
Yes, I swear to God.
Damn.
Like, let's see when the last episode was. What, 1 week ago it came out. I guarantee you it's probably, I'm going to say 2 million views.
Dude.
In 1 week.
Do you follow Kill Tony like that? Like
No, I don't watch every episode or anything, but I'm just like in tune with what's going on.
No, I mean that's a good move, man. Dude, that is crazy, man. And then I think you just have fucking every Monday, bro, fucking millions.
How come it won't let me click this? Here it is. 1.8 million views 6 days ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I do this thing occasionally where I skim through the episode. Like if an episode's an hour and 45 minutes, it'll take me 15 minutes to watch it. I just look at
the bombing compilations. Honestly, if I'm never looking at Kill Tony to see anybody like do great.
No, exactly.
I'm honestly only looking to see like fucking people eat shit.
Oh yeah, well that's the whole mentality of the show is based around that. Like even Tony always says that thing like, who here likes when comedians do good, and they cheer. Who likes when comedians do bad? And it's an uproarious response. Like they love when people eat shit.
Dude, yeah. And they're fucking weird. Their interviews weird, and yeah, dude. Those are the episodes I'll watch.
Yeah.
If you do well, all right, I can see.
Well,
that.
I try to be positive and stuff, but there's some comics who I just don't like the cut of their jib. I'm just like, you're way too confident. That was such a dumb old school thing to say, but I'm just like, I don't hate this person. I don't wish them ill will, but I wish
they would bomb.
Yeah, so I hate watch sometimes. I'm just like, I want to. I saw that person get pulled. And sometimes, lo and behold, they do pretty good. I'm like, well, the joke's on me because they did fine. They got the big joke book that everyone obsesses over. I didn't even know what the fuck the joke book thing was until I moved here. And even after I got on it twice, people would be like, "Did you get a big joke book?" And I would be like, "I don't know what that means." And they're like, "No." But every time I got a big joke book, but I didn't know there was any other fucking option. I didn't know what it was. But there's some people that like that is. If they get a big joke book, they act like they won the Super Bowl. Like they are so fucking happy.
Dude, it is crazy. Like the amount, dude, like the level of love that show brings to people, dude. Like people that's their goal, dude. Their whole life goal.
It's so dumb. It's like my goal in life is to win the lottery. It's just like even if you get on, what are the statistical possibilities that you're able to sustain whatever attention you get and utilize it to take yourself to a level to where you're going to be like a legit comic. It's like, you know what it takes to be a legit comic? Bomb for 5 years like the rest of us and then figure it out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
dude. Yeah.
So I wish Tony would do some shit where he would have certain nights, because I know they sprinkle in like, you know, predetermined picks. He should do like a night where like bucket previous polls only or something, you know, like once every couple months.
Yeah, like you have like a little vault of comedians.
Yeah, dude, best of or some shit, or like you know what I mean, like figure it out somehow, you know, like I feel like once a month or once every several shows to do some Legends night, not Legends, because they did something at the arena show, which I fucking hate the arena shows. They're unwatchable.
Yeah.
They did the legend bucket, and they'd pull from the bucket, and it would be like Joey Diaz or Andrew Dice Clay or
the golden.
It was called the bucket of legends or something, golden bucket or whatever the fuck it was. But I feel like that with such power. I mean, I feel like maybe it's just me because I'm just looking for like any type of just like, oh my god, giant exposure. I feel like they should do something where they have a night where it's just like these are just nothing but people who've been on the show and they were successful.
Yeah, but I think you're right though, man. People want to see Those people want to see you eat shit and fucking squirm, dude. They want to see you tortured. Like they want to see the torture happen.
Oh yeah.
And that's honestly that's their bread and butter, bro. That is Kill Tony's bread and butter. The fact that their fans want to see torture happen. They want to see him bomb. They want to see fucking Tony rip into him because of how awkward the interview is. You know. All that shit, dude.
They know they. It's funny. It's entertaining. I understand the appeal, 100%.
Yeah, it's hilarious, dude. It is. It's like a huge, especially if the dude's like a douchebag or whatever. And then
when people. That's why like there's some people that I see and I'm just like, you're not like. It's one thing if you're bad. A lot of people are bad. Most people start off bad. Yeah. That's fine. That goes without saying. But if you have like arrogance and you're an asshole,
I want you to bomb so bad.
100%.
So bad. It's because this is not a cool sport. You can't just, you know, it's not a sport where you can just act cool, get up there and just charm the crowd with how cool you fucking are. All right? Yeah. You just, no, dude, it doesn't work like that. So I love it. Yeah, I love those where the dude thinks he's, you know, hey, man, I'm just a cool dude. I'm going to go up in here and fucking.
Oh, my God. There's a few people like that who are, they think that they're really fucking good and they're cool. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Go pick up skateboarding or some shit. Go become like an online gamer. Like, no one needs this energy.
Nah, dude. And then they fucking eat dick. And I'm like, see, dude.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm trying not to say names, but yeah, there's some that I've seen. I'm like, oh, my God. That was awesome that happened to them. All right, well, we hit like an hour 25, I think, because we started the stream late. Is there anything you want to plug where people could find you? Yeah, we're at 90 minutes right now.
Yeah, check out my Instagram, man. It's going to be at DEEJAY Vasquez 10. It's going to be my Instagram.
Yeah, check it out. And you're on tour all the time with Willie. You know, fuck yeah, dude. So I end every episode saying this. I always say, so until next time, kiddies, stay safe, stay healthy, don't be a bitch, and stay up.
Peace.